Hello friends, welcome to the second part of Introduction to Literature Review, and this is second video of Research Methodology online course. And here up to this point we have discussed about importance of a good literature review. In that we studied definition of literature review and why literature review is required. Then we studied different types of literature reviews, and lastly we were discussing structure and writing style of literature review. Now we will go to the 21st slide. And here we are there at how to write. It's a structure and writing style, how to write a literature review. For that, and it's a very well-trodden path, many people have used that first they study the work done by others to know more about how to write literature review or how to do a particular thing. And there, here use the exercise of reviewing the literature to examine how authors in your discipline or area of interest have composed their literature review sections. And that's a very good practice. Therefore, I ask you to go through literature reviews available on Google. Shodhganga provides you many PhD reviews, many PhD theses, and you can get those literature reviews from those theses. Read those reviews to get sense of the type of themes you might want to look for in your own research or to identify ways to organize your final review. You can get many ideas how to find out the topic for your research, and when you focus on topic of your research you can find out the actual organization structure of the review which you are reading. And by reading the previous work you can build your own idea what a literature review is and how to write literature review. Then the bibliography or reference section of the sources you can visit, and those will also direct you to the previous literature which is available in public domain. That literature you can use to start writing your own literature review. And the most basic consideration shall be your topic shall be as narrow as possible, as specific as possible. For very broad topic it becomes very difficult to even to start the work. If you narrow the topic, then you know where to search for the material. Your keywords will narrow the topic, and when keywords are highly specific you will get very few uh, articles or books which you can manage, which you can go through, you can skim through, you can annotate those books. The narrower your topic, the easier it will be to limit the number of sources. Then always remember that there is no need to read everything that is available about the topic. No need. You can focus on very important words. Therefore, first go through the titles. Then, if title is appealing to you, then go to the article actually and read the abstract or read the introduction. You can directly go to the description discussion also, or you can use the materials and methods also to find out whether the article is suitable to be included in your literature review or not. And your job will become very easy if you first limit scope of the research problem. Your research problem shall not be very broad, shall not be vague. It shall be very concisely defined, very precisely defined. And if that is done, then your work will be very easy. A good strategy is to begin by searching the PubMed for articles and books that focuses on the specific issue. And we will make a video in which we will go on the practical aspects. I will directly show you, I will demonstrate you how to use PubMed and Google search to search for articles and books. And it's very important for science field because science field is ever changing, ever evolving. Many people are working on your topic, and if your sources are not current, if those are very old, then you may work on a duplicate work, or your research may be duplicate work of others. Okay? You may find the same things, you may discuss the same things. Therefore, science disciplines require that you use information that is as current as possible. Then, a complete understanding of the research problem requires you to deliberately examine how knowledge and perspectives have changed over time. If you want to study evolution, and it's very good to study evolution because your idea about your topic will also progressively evolve, and all the facets of the research problem will be visible to you. You will understand what your actual topic is. Therefore, many a times you may have to visit old work, and that old work shall bring you to the progressively recent work, and in your literature review most recent work shall be there. Then rate of growth and number of articles on the topic will make your choice easier, and that is done very easy by PubMed. If you search for a keyword in PubMed, you will get a graph on your in your right hand panel, and that graph shows you how many numbers of articles are there per year. X-axis will be year and y-axis will be count of the topics in that particular year. Therefore, you'll understand how rapidly that topic is evolving, or how many different articles are being published on the topic, whether the topic is progressive enough or has dead one. If your research topic is dead one, and if you are finding that new ways are there and new concepts are there by exploring which you can revive that topic, then it will be a good thing. But that's a caution. If your article, if your research topic is evolving one, growing one, then that will be good one for you. Therefore, I advise you to use the topic on which many research workers are working. Maximum number of research articles are being published there. Then, to start writing, you can draw a flow chart of how your topic progress at this logical flow, and then arrange your sources as per that flow. This is the very good tip to start working. Draw a flow chart, then note down your articles or material there, and then again you can iteratively go on arranging that. You can arrange by date of publication also, or then the order will demonstrate the more important trends, how that particular topic is evolving through time. Then another way is arrangement is thematic. You can jot down, or you can write down themes, various themes and sub themes, sections and subsections of your topic, and then use those to arrange or arrange the material to get progression in time. However, the earlier one may be an important factor in thematic review. Then methodological approach, you can write down all the methods which will be there in your work. Those methods you will get through the previous literature, and jot down those methods, and then you can write down how many articles are there for each method, and that will also be a good one, and that review will become a methodological review. Then, what are different sections in your literature review? First, you have to decide which organization strategy you are going to study. That chronological chronological style you are going to work, or thematic, or methodological one. If you zero on the writing style, review writing style, then you can decide the sections of your literature. If chronology is there, then time wise sections can be there. If methodological review is there, then methods will be there. In other words, chronological review would have subsections for each vital time period or each vital event happened in those periods. A thematic review would have subtopics based on factors that relate to the theme or issue. In thematic review, many themes and sub-themes will be there, which will form the sections and subsections of your review. And then here are examples of some sections you may need to include. That first is a current situation. That current situation can be the first opening section of your literature review. That is information necessary to understand the topic or focus of the literature review that is required. Then history can be the focus. History can be one section of your literature review, where chronological progression can be there. Then selection of methods can be there. Then standards which are there available in the literature, those standards will be there. And again, many standard methods are available to write literature review. You can use those, and what questions about the field has the review sparked, how will you further your research as a result of the review, all those that can be included in that section. Then once you have settled on how to organize your literature review, then you have your sections also. Then use these things to make your review more effective. There shall be evidence for each claim, which for many sentences or important sentences, sentences with serious claim shall be backed up with sufficient evidence. That is there. Be selective. Only use the topics or evidences uh, which have high quality and which are which have all the sound methods and all those things. Use quotes sparingly, that is important. If you use other sentences in the literature as such in the quotes or without the quotes, that will be called as plagiarism. Therefore, use quotes as sparingly as possible. Very few number of quotes shall be there in your review. Then summarization and synthesis is required. Only reporting the literature is not sufficient to write literature review. You shall summarize the previous work and you shall arrange and reshuffle and all that work, organize that work so that you will convey a new story or a new interpretation. That is required through your work. Your reader shall get the idea what the literature you reported means. Then keep your own voice. Earlier, people are promoting passive voice, but that shall not be there. Your own voice is more believable. Therefore, it's my idea that it's my opinion that these sentences are perfectly allowed. You can use those. Then use caution when paraphrasing. That is very important one. Paraphrasing is the thing which you write the meaning a particular author wants to convey in your own words. You are arranging that particular concept in your own words. That is paraphrasing. But paraphrasing shall not miss the meaning. The meaning which your paraphrasing is conveying shall be as close to the actual meaning being conveyed by the author. Therefore, meaning shall not change. Contradiction shall not be there in your statements and the statements you are citing in there. Literature you are citing in there. Now we are there at the last leg of our session, and that is most common mistakes made in reviewing science research literature. And these mistakes are: sources in your literature review do not clearly relate to the research problem. And when I go for assessment of many theses, MSc thesis, I find that many citations are there which don't have any mention in the bibliography, or in bibliography many reference items are there which don't have any mention in the literature. That's a very common mistake and very bad mistake to do. You lose your credibility. And this mistake, where sources in literature review do not clearly relate to the research problem, is another one, where you include the citations, you include the references which are not at all related to the material you say, or which are relating very loosely to the statement you are mentioning there. Therefore, take care not to do this mistake. Then, if you do not take sufficient time to define and identify the most relevant sources to use in the literature review related to the research problem, then such errors can be there. You have to take time. Uh, First, to read the literature available to you, and then from that literature you have to find out the most relevant ones. And for that, I urge you to have patience and read a lot. And if you are relying exclusively on secondary sources, analytical sources, if you are relying on only reviews or only reviewing books which are reviewing literature, then very few primary uh, research articles are there, then your work will not be considered as authentic, because secondary sources are interpretations of their reviewers, but your own interpretation shall be there. and uncritically accept another research findings. That's the problem, because sometimes many researchers findings are not true to the point or not have good quality. If you quote those or if you cite their work, if you are considering their interpretations as valid and the author's credibility is dubious, then your problem will be there. You have to examine the claim critically. And many a times this happens. You have trust on somebody's work. Somebody may be very senior and you may took the work on the face value. Then their problem, then such problem will be there, such mistake will be there. Then if you do not describe the search procedures used to search the literature review, then that's a problem. You have to describe from which sources you got the material, what search procedures you used to identify the literature, to get the literature you use in the review. Then you report isolated statistical result rather than synthesizing them in chi-squared or meta-analytic methods. That's very essential one. If you just are adding descriptions that this mean is there, average is there, standard deviation is there, then go for the another one. That's the problem. That's the mistake. You have to consider the literature available or statistics available in many different papers, many different original resources, and you have to take that together. You have to synthesize that together and carry out your own methods. And those can be chi-squared methods or meta-analytical methods. And you have to analyze that work again. All those numbers you have to crunch again. You have to perform statistical methods to get your own results. And if you include those results in literature review, then your literature review will be reliable one, will be a reliable information source. And if your literature review includes research that validates assumptions and does not consider contrary findings and alternative interpretations found in the literature, then again your review will not be of high quality. Its credibility will be in problem. Therefore, you have to validate the assumptions. You have to quote the contrary views also. You have to quote the alternative interpretations also to provide credibility to your work. Okay? That's the theoretical underpinning of literature review. Now, in next session, we will use Google search, we will use PubMed, and we will search for literature available on a specific topic. I will show you how to increase specificity of your search, how to get limited number of highly focused papers on your on the topic which you want. Thank you.